Hello YouTube, Senpai here. Welcome to another video. I do apologize for the lack of videos recently, but I'm here with my top 5 Xbox One and PS4 games that I feel are a must-own for any PlayStation 4 and Xbox owner. This is my opinion, so if you see a game that you think, oh, that's in my collection, my top 5 would be this, and this instead of this, which is completely fine. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start. So we'll start with Xbox first. Final Fantasy 15, I do apologize about the shininess. This is the, Day 1 edition. I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of this game. Yeah, I definitely recommend this for any Final Fantasy fan. Here's hoping we get more excellent Final Fantasy games for either system. So yeah, Final Fantasy 15. Alright, next on the list is Gears of War 4. I highly recommend Gears of War for Xbox owners, or if you're a PlayStation owner thinking about getting an Xbox. I definitely recommend getting it. If you can find this is just the standard edition that came with the 4 other games. I highly recommend getting that version, especially if it's brand new. The only Gears of War game I do not like in this collection is Judgment, and it just doesn't feel like a proper Gears of War game. There's a lot of video rants about Judgment. Pick any of those videos and watch. Can't go wrong. But if you do enjoy Gears of War Judgment, awesome. Nothing wrong with that. It's my personal, humble opinion. I just don't enjoy it. But if you do, awesome. Oh yeah, Gears of War. Alright, and then next up is Recore. I haven't played much of this game, but from what I've played, I am enjoying it, so I would recommend it. As soon as I finish the game, I will upload my thoughts on it. I'm pretty sure there's some videos reviewing it, but I figured after I finish the game, I'll just upload my personal thoughts and opinions of it. But yeah, Recore, I do recommend that you pick it up just to check it out. Now, this next game, unfortunately, Activision, being Activision, decided to take down the digital version of the game. So, fortunately, you're forced to hunt down a physical copy of this game. And that is Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark. Now, they also had temporarily Transformers Fall of Cybertron, but they took that down as well. So unfortunately, in order to play Fall of Cybertron, you would have to pull out your old Xbox 360 or PS3 to play it that way. But Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark is still a solid game. It's a shame they took down Escalation, or discontinued the Escalation game mode. But the story, highly recommend it. It's not as strong as the Cybertron series, because this is a combination of both the movie and, the movie, so it's a tie-in, so it's a movie tie-in game mixed with, what happens between War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron. But I definitely recommend playing this. It's a good game. Last on the old Xbox. I do have more Xbox games. These are just the ones I thought are must-haves. And this one is definitely Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, if you're looking to get all the physical Kingdom Hearts game on Xbox, unfortunately, this is it. You can only get Kingdom Hearts 3 physically, which is a damn shame because I enjoy the Kingdom Hearts games a lot. But if you have the time to play through all, 10 games, minus 358 and Recoded, those are just cutscenes, but I highly recommend this. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3. Alright, so that was the Xbox. Now we're down to my PS4. So we'll start with Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition. Now this is the one I actually had to go out and get the Royal Edition for. Solid game. It's a shame they didn't re-release another version that contained the episode Arden, but it's whatever. It's only like $4 or $5 if I remember correctly. But yeah, I highly recommend Final Fantasy 15, especially the Royal Edition if you can find it. I remember my friend telling me she couldn't find it for the longest time. So if you do see it, like, definitely pick it up. Alright, so this next game is a must-have, especially with Ragnarok coming out, and that's God of War. This is an excellent fourth game in the series, or for fourth main. It does change up its formula. Instead of being like a hack and slash like God of War's 1, 2, and 3, Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta were. This is more, I want to say more Elder Scrolls-ish. That's what pops into my head when I think about this. But yeah, I highly recommend this. Alright, so the next game is the Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package. Now this, I would recommend this any day of the week for someone who has an Xbox, but they just bought a PS4, but they want physical Kingdom Hearts games. I definitely recommend this all-in-one package. I got this on Amazon for like $20. So that's an amazing deal for 10 games, minus the... So technically 8 games, because 2 of them are cutscenes. And 1's a movie, so 7. So 7 playable games. 2 games that are just cutscenes, and 1 movie. But I do recommend picking this up, especially with, who knows, we might get a Kingdom Hearts 4. Maybe. And then, last but not least, the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, I enjoyed this to death. I am excited for Part 2. I'm hoping Square Enix doesn't make the stupid decision to release Part 2 only for PS5, because that would make this pointless. It's like, oh, here's the first part, but you gotta buy a new $500 system to play Parts 2 and 3, or however many parts this is gonna be. So, Square Enix, I doubt you're watching this, but if you are, please give us Part 2 on PS4 for the fans who can't find a PS5. Capcom had the right idea, because originally Resident Evil Village was going to be PS5, Xbox Series XS, XNS exclusive, and they're like, oh wait, people can't find this, can't get their hands on the new Xbox or PlayStation, so let's just release it on the Xbox One and PS4, which is how I've been enjoying Village, and I've beaten that game once on both systems, unlocked everything, never doing that again. Actually, to make sure I didn't have to do any of that, again, I bought the unlock packs for both the Xbox and PS4. So yeah, I did that with the Resident Evil 2 remake as well as the Resident Evil 3 remake. If we get the Resident Evil 4 remake and they do the same thing, I will do it after I've played through the story once and I figure, okay, this is gonna be a nightmare to unlock everything. But the the reason why I did that is because it felt like Resident Evil Village's mercenary mode felt like a chore. Now, personally, I loved mercenary mode, especially in Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 4, the original. So yeah, Resident Evil Village, I recommend that as well. If I had physical copies of it, they would be on the, I would have them. I actually do have physical copies of Resident Evil 7, 2, 3, and the Origins collection. Actually, let me grab those. So yeah, I do recommend the entirety of Resident Evil on both systems. I just happen to have physicals on my Xbox because I do want I'm trying to build up a physical, like, Resident Evil game collection on either system, and I just so happened these were the easiest one. These were the only ones I could track down. So the Origins collections with 0 and 1. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Resident Evil 3 Remake. And Resident Evil 7. So if I had found... So as soon as... So chances are... I'm gonna find Resident Evil Village, or I'm gonna have an easier time finding Village, or I'm gonna end up buying Village on Xbox physically to add to this collection. Then all I really need to do is get physical copies of Resident Evil Revelations 2, so the only Resident Evil games I need physicals of is 4, 5, 6 for Xbox One, and Revelations 2 for Xbox One. Then my physical collection for Resident Evil on Xbox One is complete. My digital collection is complete with the